In Houston's wealthiest neighborhood, a socialite died under mysterious circumstances. Her husband, a renowned surgeon, cried so loud at the hospital that patients on the floor above heard him. But within hours, her body was embalmed, and the autopsy was impossible. 3 years later, that same man was gunned down by a masked killer inside the very mansion they once shared. What started as a love story in high society ended in a double mystery soaked in blood, money, and secrets the Texas elite tried to bury. Joan Olive Robinson, later Joan Hill, was born into loss and privilege. Her biological mother, unmarried and unable to raise her, gave her up. But fate had grand plans. Joan was adopted by Davis Ashton Ash Robinson and his wife Rhea, a wealthy oil family with no children of their own. Ash Robinson adored Joan. He called her Boots. To him, she wasn't just a daughter, she was an empress. She grew up among Houston's elite, lavishly cared for, her childhood a whirlwind of maids, luxury, and silver spoon equestrian trophies. She excelled on horseback, winning hundreds of ribbons with her favorite steed, beloved Belinda. But love for Joan was never so easy. Married and divorced twice before she even turned 20. Each union lasted less than a year, until she met Dr. John Hill. March 15, 1969. Joan began vomiting violently while hosting guests at her opulent River Oaks mansion. Her condition worsened quickly. By March 18th, she was semi-conscious. John, her husband, refused to call an ambulance. Instead, he drove her himself to a hospital 40 minutes away. A facility with no ER, no intensive care, no emergency staff. Within 24 hours, Joan Robinson Hill was dead, and within 5 hours of her death, her body was already embalmed. Why the rush? Texas law required an autopsy for anyone who died within a day of being admitted to a hospital. That embalming prevented one. Ash Robinson was outraged. His daughter was gone. No clear cause of death, no answers. And in the background, John Hill, the grieving widower, making headlines. Yet Ash wasn't buying it. He used his fortune to apply pressure, pushing the district attorney to open a murder investigation. Dr. John Hill had enemies, but also secrets. He was in deep debt to Ash. He spent more time composing music than practicing medicine, investing over $100,000 into a soundproof music room in the mansion, one of the most acoustically advanced in America. And while Joan was dying, John was in love with someone else, Ann Kurth, his mistress. He married her shortly after Joan's death. Ann later testified that John confessed to murdering Joan, and that he tried to kill her 3 times. But her story directly contradicted the official charge. Murder by omission. Not poison, not violence, but neglect. That contradiction triggered a mistrial. Even without a body that could speak, the courts weren't done. A second trial was scheduled for November 1972. But John Hill would never sit in that courtroom, because just weeks before trial, he was shot dead by a masked gunman in the same River Oaks mansion where Joan had taken her last breath. The killer? Bobby Wayne Van Diver, arrested alongside 2 others. He claimed the hit was a contract killing. The price? $5,000. The burning question: who paid him? The prime suspect in the court of public opinion was Ash Robinson, Joan's father, the man who never stopped hunting for justice. But no formal charges were ever filed. The truth? It died with Van Diver. He was shot by a Longview police officer before he could testify in court. No one was ever convicted for the death of Joan Robinson Hill or John Hill. Ash Robinson died without seeing a courtroom deliver justice for his daughter. Their only son, Richard, moved away. He sold the mansion. Too many ghosts, too many questions. In 1981, Hollywood told the tale. Murder in Texas aired to millions, but the ending was the same. Suspicion, scandal, and silence. Even today, whispers remain. Some say John Hill never died, that he staged the shooting and fled to Mexico. Others believe Ash pulled strings only a man of his wealth could reach. But one thing is certain. The River Oaks mansion saw 2 deaths, and still holds secrets. No autopsy, no trial, and no book ever fully uncovered.